Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Akashic record reading for the week of April 3rd to April 9th, 2024. I am Deanna, and I'm Akashic Records reader and spiritual coach, and I teach highly sensitive people, empaths, and starseeds how to accelerate in these ever changing times, how to find their center of balance and thrive during these times. Welcome aboard. I'm so glad to have each and every one of you joining me this evening. And while Facebook's putting it out there and populating a little bit, I'm going to talk about tonight, enlightening you about this upcoming eclipse. I've heard so many things, and I've seen so many things about how people are facing this upcoming eclipse, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're imagining to be true. And what I found is it's very much interesting to me to observe that what is happening in this time and space as a spiritual person, as an awake person, as an aware person with all of your senses, the clairs and the feelings and sensibilities, is that we understand that this is a time that our consciousness is expanding. So if you're finding more about your spiritual gifts, if you're finding more about, you see things other people don't, you sense things, you know things, then welcome aboard, because this is a dynamic time for us to be awake, aware, and alert. And so anytime that I see things going on in the news, or what's being put out there that is negative about something that's happening in our universe and evolving our spiritual selves in our universe, then I know that it's even a more powerful event, spiritually speaking, than it otherwise would be. So, what I'm going to do tonight is I will read the Akashic records for the week, and I'll talk a little bit more about the eclipse and what my guides were telling me. Oops, drop my notes here. What my guides were telling me this morning about what's going to go on with this total solar eclipse and how it's going to help us as empaths, as starseeds, as people seeking spiritual knowledge, and how that's going to really transform our lives and help us if we know what to do, if we know where to be, how to be, at that time that it's happening. Because it is definitely an event that is beautiful in nature and cleansing by divine and universal order. And it's been brought to us in this time and space. So, if for those of you that are not aware, uh, this time that we're living in is a time of a new beginning. So there's a lot of things astrologically that we haven't seen in hundreds of years or thousands of years, and sometimes longer than that. And when you look at those alignments of the planets, that shifts the frequency of the planet. This is all science, no woo woo. It's bioelectromagnetic. Okay, so your body's biological, it's electro, it's magnetic, it has a soul in it. And so the system that we live in, if you imagine a giant clock, with all the little cogs and bells turning, before the little cuckoo clock comes out, that is how this universe is designed. And, a lot of scientists have looked at the magnetic grids on the planet and, how some of the pyramids all over the world are aligned with them. And certain stars align up with them. And, big energy shift. So, that's what's happening for us. And what I was learning, I have an advisor who looks at lots of the news and stuff for me and lets me know what's going on in the planet and keeps me aware of things while I'm working to help all of you. Is that during this time, this is a time, of course, it's spring and we have the renewal, the new year, and, things starting to sprout and all of that, depending on which side of the world you're living on. But this total solar eclipse is going to disturb the electric frequency on the planet for just a little bit. And a lot of us are feeling it. And I thought it was just me. That's normal. I think it's just me. And so I put in my personal Facebook page, I put a little meme about, how I went out one day, and I just felt really sad. So last Friday, I felt really super sad, and I had no idea why I felt so sad. And I would just have tears streaming down my face. And I asked some of my followers, do you feel that way also? This is my personal Facebook page. And they were right there with me. And I've also been feeling a sense of loss and grieving, even though there's nothing significant, like a spouse or, a parent or a child physically, or a job even. But I've been feeling that sense of loss. And in that sense of loss, um, I went for a drive, drove for a long time, just got out in the middle of nowhere, live up near Wyoming, it's nice, just rolling hills. And I had a chance to just think and be by myself, no cell phone. And then it brought me back to what was going on inside. And then, I talked to my guides and I'm like, okay, what's happening? And what I found out is that so many of you are feeling the same way too. So that's why I'm sharing this. So if you're not feeling this way, good. It means you've already accelerated past this. But I asked my guides, I said, what's happening? Why do I feel this way? Why do other people on Facebook, how come they're identifying with me? How come they feel this way? And what can I do to help them? So we were talking about the eclipse, and what's happening is I am, and you may be too, grieving the loss of an identity. So up until now, maybe before COVID, you had a certain personality type, you had a certain way of being, and you were set, in this particular pattern. And then COVID came, and that really caused a lot of us, during those 2 years, which coincided with more astrological changes, to shift, to change, to create a new self. And so, what I have been doing is releasing a lot of past hurts, habits, hang-ups, and that's the identity. And if you think about it, if you have a certain thing that you really like or you do over and over again, and somebody asks you to give that up, who are you? Who are you? So, for a long time in my life, I had a lot of trauma drama. And I am attempting to be, zen and centered and at peace all the time. Now, nobody can be at peace all the time that I know of. But to be there the majority of the time instead of trauma drama. If I give up trauma in my life, if I give up drama, if I give up anxiety in my life, who am I? Who am I? So grieving that lifestyle and letting it go and then becoming someone new, you're losing part of your identity, part of yourself. So I'm going to tell you that this coming up total solar eclipse, no matter whether you're in the path and can see it or not, it's going to set the magnetic frequency just enough to help us to get rid of our old self and create a new consciousness. And if you're on board with that and you've done a lot of soul work or shadow work, you've brought a lot of emotions up from past hurts and you've let them go, then you are all set. It's like a slingshot. Boom! Okay? If you haven't, you have a few days yet to really sit with yourself, feel the feelings, journal, or come get a reading. I'll be at For Heaven's Sake tomorrow, Thursday, and then there's other beautiful readers that we have of all different backgrounds, all different modalities and ways of being. And if you're like at a loss of what's in here that may be hurting and you don't know, I often douse. I use my pendulum. I say, okay, what's in there? Because I can't identify it. Once I identify it and I see it, it's so much easier to release it and set a new lifestyle pattern. So if any of you can identify with that, if you give me a thumbs up, and while you're doing that, I'm going to welcome some people and see if we have anything in the feed for tonight. Over here on my Facebook peeps, on my business Facebook page over here, if you all would give me a thumbs up or a smiley face that shows me how many people are watching, but it doesn't show me who. And then I got my system working, so now I have all the monitors. I'm not looking directly at this one. And just give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're there. I would really appreciate it. All right. And over here we have Tony. Hi, Tony. So good to see you tonight. I'm glad you joined us. And Susan, hi. Good to see you. And Gail, good to see you. Let's see here. I've got Wow, a lot of folks turning out tonight. Shauna, good to see you. And Sarah, hello, darling. I'm glad you're excited for this transformation we're going to be making here pretty soon. Hi, Julie. Wow, good to see you. And let's see, and Tony, we said hi to you. And over here on our Instagram page, we have Goblin City Bakery. I love it. Amadon, it looks like, and Chelsea, and Brittany, good to see you. And oh, look, I'm getting some smiles. And oh, I see a smile from Jordan. Good to see you. All right. And I'm so glad each one of every one of you joined me. While I'm doing this reading, if you have any, oh, good. Thank you for the hearts. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down here because like I said, I am an Akashic Records reader and a spiritual mentor. And I've been doing this, for, at least 20 years. And in my practice, what I've learned is the biggest question I used to ask growing up is it just me? Is it just me? Because I would feel these things and had no idea. So when I decided to go pro about 2000 and started writing a blog, I would write about all these frequency changes, scientific stuff, and people didn't understand it. But they understand how they felt and I could identify with that. So tonight I'm going to do the Akashic Record reading for the week about what's coming up. Then I'll switch over to taking some of your questions. So if you have any of them, let me know. And again, if you're watching over here on my personal Facebook page, if you can say hello down in the comments. I want to make sure the comments are working. I've been finding that often I see them later. But one of the biggest things that I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, if you can identify with this, is fatigue and overwhelm. Oh my gosh, it just seems like there's 1,000 things going on and you're attempting to give attention to them and it's just draining. So one of the things I'll share with you that my spirit guides were really on to me about is they tell me that I need to balance work and family life. And, that can be challenging. And they tell me I need to eat better and drink more water. And so after this eclipse, we're going to be coming up on, for about 4 months, no joke, after this solar eclipse, we're going to see some more changes in the energies. So I lovingly encourage each one of you to get an energy clearing before the eclipse. If you need help, if you need some consultation, if you need a Reiki, if you need a reading, for heaven's sake, has lots of different readers and me. And you can call at 303-964-9339 to the Denver store. Or you can go online to forheavensake.com and it'll say the reader, should say reader schedule, and you click on that and you can book 24/7 right there online. And what's coming up over the next 4 months is that in the United States, if you're watching me from there, we do have a presidential election coming up. And there's a lot of turmoil there. The stock market's all over the place and people are, losing jobs and, the economy's shifting and there's a bunch going on. So if you are awake, aware, alert, and really turned in to your connection with the divine, and Earth Mother, you're going to remain more solid during these changes. And it's a great time to eat better because there'll be so many yummy fruits and vegetables coming, from the growth of the springtime. And it's good to get out and get that vitamin D. So now is the time. All right. So I'm going to draw a card here for past. Well, actually, let's do what's coming up. So we'll look at what's coming up before the eclipse, because that is, let's see what we've got. 1, 2, 3. So we got about, well, counting today, it's on the 8th, so not that many more days. So we'll draw some cards for the eclipse and what that's going to mean. Let's see if there's anybody over here. Nope, none of my Facebook peeps are saying anything over here. Okay. So let's have a look at that, and then I'll answer some questions. So again, what we're looking at for this eclipse is a purging. And if you're just joining us now, go ahead and circle back, to the beginning and watch the beginning. But basically what my guides are telling me is you're grieving the loss of an old identity. So you're going from your old life to a new life where you're seeing things differently, where you're incorporating your spiritual gifts and you're walking in a solid foundation with the divine love and Earth Mother. All right, what do we got here? That doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. I feel like somebody has a question out there and their spirit guides are right here in my energy field, blocking me from doing this reading. So if you have a question, can you post it? Oh, somebody says, yes, you so right now. Yes, feeling in that overwhelm. And the overwhelm is to get us to take a look at what we have in our lives that maybe we don't need in our life, things that we can give up, release, some things not so much. Okay. And then I'll talk a little bit more about the solar eclipse. Okay, here we go. Okay, so whoever was out there that had the question that didn't ask it, your spirit guides are right here with me. Feels like some ancestors too. I told them they'll have to back off and go tell you to ask the question down here in the feed before I go on. Okay, so we're going to look at, today is 4/3, and we're going to look at Thursday. They're telling me I need to look at Thursday first. So Thursday, very interesting tomorrow. The energies are going to be set, and the card that I'm pulling is called the Oracle of Delphi. Oh, I don't know if you can see that too good there. It's a woman, and the Oracle of Delphi is where they used to go out, the guys, the scholars or people that want to know, and she would channel information for them from the universe so that they would understand what was happening. It's just kind of weird because they would always put her over some kind of a hole that had incense or something coming up from it. And anyway, so the funny part of that, if you're feeling overwhelmed, is the Oracle of Delphi. She was always centered and balanced because she didn't want to fall in the hole. But anyway, your guides, if you will listen to them, or your connection with the divine, or your connection with Earth Mother, will be talking to you tomorrow. It'll be letting you know why you're so overwhelmed. Now, in my personal life, I have so many things that need to be done, and I'm but one person. And I feel like everything's top priority, but it really isn't. And then I have my business life with you all, and I producing new things and working with new people and helping them to, get grounded, centered, and it's a lot of work there, and I enjoy it. So both of my lives, my personal and my business, I love them both. The question is, what is it that I am responsible for? And what is it that I can give to someone else? Because when we're in overwhelm, we feel like we're taking on everything all at once and we can't give it away. It's like it's all on us. And the universe is telling us that in order for us to make it through these next 4 months, we have to look at what belongs to us, what belongs to someone else. What weight are we carrying emotionally and mentally that we don't need? Okay. Now, next one. Then we're looking, okay, this is Friday. This is interesting. So Thursday is mainly listening to your guides, getting in touch with yourself, and finding out what's happening. Like I said, I'll be at the bookstore tomorrow. There's other readers available at the Applewood location. So, if you need, to get some help, be sure and reach out and get some clarity. All right, now this is very fascinating because now they're telling me Friday. So if you don't know, I hear my spirit guides in my head and they talk to me just like you would talk to me if you were sitting with me. Okay, and then the next one I got was birth. So this is the birth card. There we go. So it's springtime, which is funny. I could have drawn that better if I tried. And the gal's got a nice smile on their face, and there's children playing, and I can't tell what she's got in the background. Almost looks like a sacred circle back there. And it's the number 4. Remember I told you all this year's about 2s? So birth means that we have choices. We can hang on to our old self, our old clothes, our old personality, and try to muscle through all the changes in the world like, nope, 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 I'm not paying attention, I'm not changing anything. Or we can let go of what is part of our old self and embrace the new thinking, the new connection, the new flow, because flow is definitely going to be needed over the next 4 months in order for us to survive as empaths and be the light to the world, because that's our job, is to be a light to the world. Okay. Then okay, what is this? That was Thursday, Friday. Okay, they're saying Saturday and Sunday and part of Monday, and it's called the scribe. So the scribe is the person who takes the notes, who writes things down to make note of what's happening, to keep an accounting of what's happening. So let me draw some clarity on that, because if we're getting ready for the eclipse, then we're going to, the desired outcome is to get rid of as much as we can. Just a second, let me see what they want me to do here. Well, they're telling me card number 4. Okay. This is from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. Here it is, right side up. And she's got a beautiful deck. They sell them at the store, so you can always order one if you like. And it's called Imagine. So this is what I was asking them. What what does scribing mean? And they told me to pull this card from another deck that's not from my Akashic Records deck, and it's called Imagine. So it may be hard to see on camera, but there's a shrouded figure coming up out of the water right there. A shrouded person coming up out of the water, and they're pointing up to the sky. Very illuminated. So as you know, water is fluid. It can also be a gas. It can also be a solid. So what are you imagining for your future? Are you in fear? Are you imagining blessings coming to you in your life moving forward, and this being the best time of your life? Positively expecting the most wonderful things no matter what you see in front of you, and keeping that momentum going? Is that what you're doing? Are you imagining? And are you journaling that? Are you making those positive affirmations every day? Are you writing out what you want? Because writing is powerful. It's tactile. It's visual. If you write hard enough, you can hear it. Excuse me. I didn't get my water intake today. Anyway, they're also asking me to pull up another clarifying card. And this one is the Page of Earth. This is also from a different deck. Page of Earth. You see we got a guy there with wings, and he's got his little antlers on, trying to blend in with nature but also take flight. So the eclipse coming up, like my guides were telling me, is about letting go. So if you're going to journal or meditate or burn a candle, my loving suggestion is that you rid yourself of old behaviors. And that takes a while. The human brain takes a while to change, the C word, right? So you could journal about it before the eclipse, about what do I desire to get rid of? Which direction am I headed? So it's more important to know where you're going. And you're going to imagine it, which is putting the creative energy forward and allowing that to rise up into the universe, or go out to the universe so the universe can answer you. And then you'll also remember that you're in a human body and you are connected to the earth. So you are both a divine nature being, spirit, a soul, and a human being. Okay? So that's what it's going to look like between now and the eclipse. And the one thing that I did notice, one of my advisors told me that there was some not so happy stuff going on in the news media about the eclipse. I'm like, what's up with that? So I went and looked, and apparently there's going to be a lot of National Guard out. And I looked up other eclipses, and they've done the same thing, because, there's so many people that are going to go out there and view it, and, it's a party. But there's a lot of fear mongering going on. And I wanted to remind you that any time in the world you see a lot of aggression or a lot of attention being given to a certain activity, that's because there's a parallel in our expansion as spiritual beings. I hope that makes sense. All right, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the feed. I'm going to check each one of my monitors here, see if anybody has questions. And I kind of seem low energy today, but as many of you, okay, I have nobody asking questions. You all must be at the same place I am. All right. So hello to Denise. I'm glad that you joined us today. Hello to Stephanie. Good to see you. She agrees. She says absolutely. I'm glad that you all are on board with this. And again, it's not just me. I thought about writing, hello Cheryl. I thought about writing a book called It's Just Me, is it? You know, or something. Okay. And I have a comment over here. Oh, okay. So over here I have a comment, says, definitely overwhelmed in times, working on keeping centered. Absolutely. You're doing a great job. I have a strong desire to go through old clothes this weekend. Is there a deeper meaning to that? Absolutely. So think about this. If you're having a strong desire to go through your clothes, number one, the obvious is it's springtime, and at least on this side, of the world, at where we're at. And the springtime is a different frequency. There's more sun outside. Your eyes get the sunlight. Biology. We get our emotions get raised, and we're like, oh, we feel so good. Oh, we don't need this, this, and this. So that's biological. Natural. With where we are, again, we're starting a new beginning. Our clock is resetting the whole universe. It's a brand new beginning. And so you're selecting what, if you will, clothes you're going to wear, what emotional clothes you're going to wear. What have you clothed your heart with? Anxiety, fear, phobia, happiness, joy? And if you're having trouble with that, I would suggest that you get some selenite. They sell selenite, for heaven's sake, in many different ways. And some look like little hearts, some of them are wands, some of them are things you can carry in your pocket. And selenite is a great cleanser for your auric field, so if you want to do that. But the symbology of the clothing is we're shedding our old clothes, which kind of goes back to a biblical scripture I grew up with. It's the renewing of your spirit and the shedding of your old clothes. So, this is the clothing you've had spiritually and emotionally speaking. Oh, good. Thank you for the hearts. Okay. So, yes, going through is good because you're going to ditch that frequency. Can you put back up the Imagine card? Oh, let me see if I've got that one. Just a moment. Yes, here's the Imagine card. There it is. Very lovely. And if you like the Imagine card, you can get it. It's in Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle. So, what the deck looks like. And they carry those at For Heaven's Sake book. They're real super popular, so you might want to give them a buzz, make sure they got one handy for you. Let's see, other questions. Let's see here. She said, the one that was talking about the clothing, she said, I know it's kind of silly, but that's how the guides sort things out. Yes, absolutely. So your spirit guides are going to be talking to you, and be open to whatever way they're talking to you. It could be through saying, hey, we need you to clean out your clothes closet, and they give you the urge to do that. And as you're cleaning, you might trigger something. Maybe it's a sweater your mom gave you, and it triggers you a memory that's not so happy. Or, maybe you find something that a past lover gave you that's long gone, and you realize that they were, a waste of your time. Who knows? But that's definitely how guides talk. That's good. Let's see. I'm always imagining, feels like that's all I do sometimes. No energy, maybe that's why I have no questions. Okay, yeah, that fits. There's a lot of folks not having questions tonight because people are feeling low energy. Okay, Freedom Spirit says, how do I cut etheric cords with others? Well, that's a good question. Okay, so etheric, for those of you that don't know, means the energy that's around you, your energy field. It can also mean, out into the cosmos. And so when I cut my etheric cords, Sometimes I use a selenite wand, and you can just go around this way. Other times I visualize a fiery golden sword, with one of the archangel's hands on it going this way. And then another way is just to say I diffuse and dissolve the quartz. So be it, and so it is. I hope that answers your question. All right, let me go over here to my Facebook page. So there's a lot of cosmic energies, a lot of shedding going on. Oop, I got one heart over here on Facebook, the other Facebook page. There's a lot of cosmic energy going on. There's a lot of, oop, got another one. Cool. There's a lot of shedding going on. So if you're feeling that, if you're just, weeping for no reason, or you're feeling really tired, it's a good idea to check yourself. Make sure, are you well hydrated? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating protein, and make sure you're suffering from depression or anxiety. You might need some help, maybe a therapist. Let's see here. Lisa says, my dreams have been so vivid lately and I have been tired for days. And you're welcome, Freedom Spirit, for the answer. You're welcome for that. Yes. So anybody else give me a thumbs up or a heart or something that's watching. If you feel like your dreams have been super, super vivid, like you remember being there, it's as real as we are now, talking to each other, and you're seeing me in real time. Oh, good. I've got some hearts over here. Ooh, got some thumbs up over here. Because what's happening is literally your guides, your guidance, your spiritual divine self is helping to prepare you for these times coming up. There's going to be a lot of turbulence. You've got to be solid within yourself. And that's why I said if you need, a reading or a healing, because I do the Akashic record readings, which means we look at the energies that may be holding you back, causing you to feel depressed, and we transmute the energy and release you from that so you can move forward so much faster. And, it's a lot right now. So if you need help, 303-964-9339. I'll be at For Heaven's Sake Book tomorrow. Today is 4/3/2024. Kind of interesting how the 2s and 3s are in there. But we're all feeling it. That's why I'm not my normal peppy, lovey self. But again, please know that going forward, when you start to see a lot of things, anytime you see the news media or popular marketing looking at a particular event, especially an astrological event, just know that that's because there are some beautiful things happening and they try to cover it up. Sorry. Truth bomb. But anyway, well, that's it. You're very welcome. Like I said, it looks like everybody's pretty worn out, and I love each and every one of you. I really enjoy doing this. If you have a question for me, for those of you on the private Facebook page and Instagram, send me a message if you have any kind of a question about what's going on. Just know that it's a good idea to focus on good, healthy food, plenty of water, and get the sleep you can. I know when we're vivid dreaming, it's challenging. Get up and journal, whatever you remember, or do voice to text, because it'll be good for you to know that and to look at it. And then you'll know what your guides are attempting to tell you and what you can do to help yourself out. So anyway, have a great, wonderful night. Big hugs and kisses to everybody. And we're going to be getting ready for the eclipse and enjoying that journey, because when it does, it's just going to be kind of like washing. You're welcome. It's going to be like washing you, washing you clean. So whatever you put up to be washed out, then so shall it be. All right. Have a great, wonderful night.